Welcome to Inspire Me with Jay, a podcast focusing on meditation, the near-death experience, and all things spiritual. Please like, subscribe to this channel, and share everywhere. Thank you. Hello, this is Jay Spillers with Inspire Me with Jay. Today, I'm talking about the subject of wholesomeness. And what is wholesomeness? When you think about it, you probably conjure up a lot of things in your mind. Maybe your mind goes to the Amish, or maybe you remember back to Little House on the Prairie. There might be a million things that come to your mind when I say the word wholesomeness. What is the definition of wholesomeness? Well, if you look up the definition, it says something that's beneficial, complete, something that's moral or healthy, or something that is overall of benefit to your well-being. That's the definition of wholesomeness. Now, when you look at the word wholesomeness, what's the first word there? Whole. So basically, you can think of whole or complete. When a person feels whole, they are complete. And when you think of I'm whole in mind, body, and spirit, that conjures up an image for you. We often talk about things like, I want to become aligned with my authentic person. Well, when you're whole, you're authentic. You become part of that authentic self that you want to be. What are some of the words that we think of when we think of wholesome? We just defined it. I think of a lot of different kinds of words. You might think of words like clean, pristine. Think of truth and beauty, love, light, kindness, compassion, pure. Those are the kind of words that are descriptive of what wholesomeness is about. And I think for a lot of people out there, like myself, that's what draws us to the near-death experience, besides offering a great deal of hope for the afterlife and evidence for a God that loves us unconditionally, is we like the wholesomeness that's presented there. When you read an NDE, you see unconditional love. You see joy and peace. There's indescribable beauty. There's a profound truth that we don't see as clearly in this world as we do when we look at the near-death experience. So there's a profound wholesomeness we find in the NDE. I think that's also true of meditation. When you meditate, you become still and centered. You become more whole within your being. And you're able to feel a greater sense of peace and awareness. You're sort of experiencing within you a wholesomeness. And I think if you're a person of faith, wholesomeness is also described there too, because you see what is going to be spiritually beneficial for me. And that's what faith centers on, is coming into a spiritual wholeness, a well-being that we all desire. And I think with wholesomeness, it's something that everyone deep down yearns for. And we all secretly want it, even if we say we don't. But it seems like something that we're moving away from at the same time, especially in our current society. We're moving towards anything that's the opposite of wholeness. We're very fractured as a people. We're very profane. We're very guttural. there's so many different things that we could say of how we're not whole. We are very incomplete in what we say and do and think and act in. You can think of wholesomeness in a holistic way, because obviously we've got different areas, but it's sort of all encompassing of potentially every area of life. We've got the mind, we've got the body, we've got the spirit. The mind is our soul and emotions. Our body is to be physically whole, and our spirit is to be spiritually in a state of wholeness. When you talk about salvation, salvation ultimately is being placed in a state of wholeness, spiritual wholeness. So when you talk about, I found salvation, you're saying, I found spiritual wholeness within me. And we can look at these different areas of wholesomeness. Like, look at entertainment. So much of entertainment today has become very unwholesome. And we're all kind of aware of that. I mean, if you saw the Grammy Awards, it was on full display that we don't have wholesomeness there. It's in our movies, it's in our TVs, it's in all of our entertainment. There's a saturation of gratuitous sex and violence, just an overall profanity and crudeness. And quite honestly, it's gotten a lot worse the past 20 and 30 years. You could find stuff in the 80s that was bad and crude, but it seems like it's just went downhill from there. So we're looking for wholeness. And, you can even see it in some of the sitcoms. Look at the difference between sitcoms now and sitcoms even in the 80s, or even go back further to the 60s and the 50s, and they're profoundly different. Because even when the sitcoms are not being overly sexual or violent or profane, they're usually saturated with a great deal of cynicism. There's a lot of dark humor. There's a lot of humor that's based on degrading people. And that's become so common today. And I think you also see a lot of what I would call wokeness too, where it pretends to be inclusive and for everyone, but it's the exact opposite. And don't get me wrong, I believe in inclusiveness. I believe in the value and the dignity of every human being, every individual. But wokeness is something entirely different. It's an ideology that's imposed upon people, generally in a very authoritarian way, tends to demonize some groups while victimizing others, and it pretends to be something that it's not. So wokeness is the antithesis, in my opinion, of a true wholeness. And that's another aspect of what you see in entertainment today, is a profound wokeness that I think is a counterfeit to true inclusiveness. And there's other areas of wholeness that we could look at as well. When you talk about the environment, we want a clean, pristine environment. I'm not necessarily going to get into specifics of environmental policies, what they should or shouldn't be, but I think deep down, we want an environment, both in terms of what we can see and perceive externally and what we see globally. We want a clean, pristine environment to live in. If you had to choose between, would I like to see more pollution or less pollution? Would I like to be breathing cleaner air or dirtier air? Well, the answer is obvious. Would I rather have clean soil or dirty soil? Would I rather have clean water or dirty water? Well, the answer is obvious. And like even when you go back to the NDE, it's the pristine, it's the beauty that we see in the NDE that we love. And we do want a clean environment. And wholesomeness can go to what we put in our bodies too. There's a lot of talk about organic food or more natural food, less processed food. And that gets into putting in whole good things into our body. And that can be an aspect of wholesomeness. So everything around us can be an aspect of wholesomeness. And it's something that we want to focus on and to project out to create a more wholesome world in every respect out there. And there's a verse in scripture that I like. It's from Philippians 4:8, which says, "Finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there is any virtue, and if there is anything praiseworthy, meditate on these things." So that captures wholeness in that verse. To meditate on the noble, the pure, the true, the lovely, when lovely can be both in terms of love and in terms of beauty, is the things that we want to put into our mind and to focus on. I spent several years of my life stressed, anxious, and depressed. I needed to find something that would make my life work. For me, that was meditation. With meditation, I found the peace of mind that I was looking for. I found the happiness. And I found a way to improve every area of my life, my emotional life, my spiritual life, my relationships. I was able to discover things about myself. I can give you the tools to meditate. I will walk you through the process and hold your hand. Whether you're a beginner to meditation who's never meditated, or whether you're someone who's tried meditation and it just never seemed to work, we can make it work. Meditation is something that everyone can do, and I can show you how. Check out my course on meditation. I think wholesomeness, both in terms of mind, body, and spirit, and the world around us, is so important. And that's what I'm going to lead us on right now, is a meditation on wholesomeness. So just close your eyes, get comfortable, relax. We're going to take in a few deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose, hold for 8 seconds, and then exhale through your mouth. Let's get started. Breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in. And exhale. Breathe in. And exhale. Now just imagine that you're in a beautiful forest. Notice very large redwood trees. There's a lot of grassy areas. There's different kinds of plants. It's a very clean and pristine environment. You can hear the sounds of the forest. Lots of birds and different animals. There's so much beauty here. Just take a moment and take in the beauty of the trees and the blue sky and the sounds around you. You can see flowers. In the distance, you can see a beautiful stream that's flowing. If you listen carefully, you can hear the water running. This forest represents beauty and peace to you. Like this forest, deep within your being, you are beautiful. You are pristine. You are clean. Within you is an authentic self, your true being, your true nature. On the surface, you may have a lot of issues, a lot of contradictions to what I'm saying, a lot of uneasiness. But look deep within you, who you truly are, who you truly want to be, and see yourself like this forest, beautiful and majestic, authentic, pure and clean, lovely. Within you, like this forest, is a nobility, a freshness that only you have. Everyone has a wholeness within them, but you have an authentic wholeness to you. Allow yourself throughout the day to come back to the forest within and see your true dignity and your true self. Seek to align yourself with that true self every time, throughout the day. If you find yourself becoming angry or frustrated, if you lash out at someone else or get upset, don't beat yourself up. Simply draw yourself back in to the whole forest that you are, the wholesomeness that your true being is. You are a divine spark, and your true essence is beautiful. Let's just say, I am complete within myself. Say that to yourself several times. I am complete within myself. I am experiencing well-being. I am experiencing well-being. Say that to yourself several times in your mind right now. I am experiencing well-being. Now we're going to start to come back. We're going to take a final breath. When you're ready, you can come back. But always remember to come to this forest within you anytime you want to become aligned with your authentic self. Breathe in deeply. And exhale. And when you're ready, open your eyes.